me out on this, right? Royce, when a new like PlayStation comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants it, right?
Yeah, of course.
So it's usually it makes it very difficult for everybody that wants to get it because of supply and demand. Now, if less people wanted the PlayStation when it came out, wouldn't that theoretically make it easier for you to obtain one?
Of course.
Just by the simple process of supply and demand, it should make it easier. I'm not waiting online. I'm not holding up the line. I'm not getting in your way. And guess what? Now my shot, my dose, is available for you. It's sitting there at the hospital right now. Anyone can have it.
Just looked up this town right now. Walk-in. These are walk-ins, not appointments. Walmart Pharmacy, Heartland Pharmacy, Harps Pharmacy, Walgreens Pharmacy, MediSafe Pharmacy, Regional Family Pharmacy, Lakeside Pharmacy, all have walk-in right now. If you want the vaccine, you can walk in right now and get it. It seems like Pfizer and Moderna.
I have a parent who does not necessarily support vaccinations. It was hard because she asked me where I was going, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get vaccinated, and she was not very happy with that.
Yes, because sometimes parents worry about their children, and they worry about putting medicine in them. Yes, you're right. So these kids now that are these are the heroes in this story. We just found the protagonists, the kids that are going behind their parents' backs.
And and maybe they're just worried that the child that basically like stole the car one night and went out after curfew and crashed the car, or the child that wanted to get an eyebrow ring and a Billie Eilish tattoo at 15 might not be in a position to make informed medical decisions, right? Like, isn't that a concern? Like, I got some news for you. Even if you have a kid and you think, like, my kid's really bright, your kid's a fucking idiot. No offense. Their default settings as kids are that they're fucking idiots and that they're not in a position to be making any sort of decisions that have long-term impact in their life.
By leaders who are contradicting public health officials.
No, the state is not going to be requiring and mandating vaccinations.
This piece of shit.
It's not a matter of this guy. I don't like him to begin with for other reasons.
No, of course.
He's a Republican, but he's also the one that fought against the
trans bill and stuff. Yeah.
I don't believe anyone should be forced to take the vaccine.
What is wrong with these? Aren't crazy statements.
Don't the music. It's all sinister.
Now, why don't you play the clips of Biden and Harris when they said, I wouldn't take any vaccine that was created under Trump?
Yeah, well, why don't you play all the clips of Biden just walking away from the press?
Yeah, do that.
Should be your personal choice.
These vaccines are always voluntary.
By the way, a gentleman, this is the governor of Texas, who's in a wheelchair, who got the vaccine and still got COVID.
And they should have had a clip of this guy just saying, I don't know, whatever Ron DeSantis said.
What did he say?
And never forced.
We don't have to accept the mandates.
It's not like you're a doctor, buddy.
But by the way, can we show some respect? Can it be Dr. Rand Paul, please?
It's Dr.
Rand Paul. You know they purposely don't.
Of course.
Lockdowns.
If he were a leftist and he was pushing the vaccine, they'd have doctor in front of his name everywhere.
Dr. Rand Paul Esquire. He'd also be a lawyer.
Esquire, PhD.
PhD, yeah.
Policies of the petty tyrants and bureaucrats.
We can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state.
Look at these crazy people.
There's no better place to see the impact of this political rhetoric than in the hospital.
Oh, you mean the heroes work here, but unless the nurses, the high percentage of nurses, they decide not to get the vaccine, and then now they're not heroes anymore and you fire them?
Only about 50% of the staff are vaccinated.
Wow, look at all. By the way, look at the frantic energy in this hospital right now.
50% of the medical professionals, the ones you keep carting out, are not vaccinated in this hospital.
What's with all the selective shots, though, of these hospitals, right? I'm always seeing these little, like, why wouldn't you show a chaotic scene if it's so chaotic in there and overpacked?
They're doing the Biden rally thing, where they just zoom in.
And they just show you little snippets and guy on a ventilator, and I'm like, I've been in hospitals that were busy. Like, for instance, you go to like a hospital that's let's say in a tourist town during tourist season, and that place is going to be buzzing with that. It's going to be packed. I've been to hospitals where the waiting room line was, especially in New York, when you go to like Brookhaven or Stony Brook Hospital, you're sitting around in that waiting room unless you have a bullet wound in the face. They're not seeing you right away, and it takes hours to be seen. I've been in hospitals that are packed. These hospitals are not packed.
None of the unvaccinated staffers were willing to.
You want to see a packed hospital? Go to a hospital on the 4th of July evening.
In like a beach town, like
Here.
a Myrtle. Here, yeah.
Here,
Yeah,
they're
there's
fucking packed.
a lot of people with their fingers blown off,
Yeah.
a lot of people shot, a lot of people drunk driving. There's a lot of that going on.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at this place. Look at it, Royce.
There are just a lot of people that you cannot convince to get vaccinated. Patients, employees, it's very frustrating.
You mean other medical professionals that aren't getting vaccinated? Why is that?
It's sad. It's, I don't know,
This is so
disappointing.
weird. Like,
Just a few months ago,
I don't like when religious people do this. I don't like when secular people do.
Any dogma.
I don't like anything where it's like they're not doing what I did. It's sad, friend. I'm sad that these people made arrived at a conclusion that is in opposition to the conclusion I arrived to, and they've decided to do with their body something different than what I decided to do. It's frustrating. Why is that frustrating to you? Why is it? I always hated religious people for being this way, and now I hate why does everybody need to make everyone else do what they do? I hate that. Just leave people the fuck alone, man.
the staff was planning a cookout to celebrate the end of COVID. But instead of barbecuing, they're now battling another surge.
It's exhausting. We're all exhausted.
I'm sorry your barbecue got canceled, but that's not going to make me give up my bodily autonomy. I'm sorry the big pulled pork Tuesday event got fucking postponed.
But they have cornhole stuff and everything.
We don't have beds.
And I'm sorry, but we were going to have a moon bounce, but I can't get the deposit back on that. Once you took out a deposit, they're not going to change the day.
One obvious way out is to mandate the vaccine.
That's one obvious way out.
But in April, the governor signed a law banning government mask mandates and vaccine passports. That shifts the responsibility mostly to private entities.
To basically what you're saying, how Biden came out the other day and said, Biden came out the other day in the middle of the Afghanistan thing, is now that Pfizer's been approved, I urge private businesses and private companies to mandate vaccines for their employees. Delta's charging $200 to every employee a month that's not vaccinated.
Vaccine requirements as part of employment, attending school, or participating in sports are reluctantly motivating some to overcome their hesitancy.
It's not okay, so I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that for you. They're not reluctantly motivating some. You are forcing them to get it to fucking live a normal life.
It seems to me that the only other thing that actually sways people here is being in the hospital.
But you just interviewed somebody.
2 people.
You interviewed 2 people that were in the hospital. They
2
both
people
said
that were in the hospital.
no.
I really am upset at myself because I did not get vaccinated. I've never hurt like I've hurt. It's made a believer out of me.
Well, then you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're a moron. And guess what? Now that you got it, you don't need it because you have natural immunities.
No, now this moron is probably going to get vaccinated now, which is going to destroy the antibodies she's built up.
Good point.
This is what freedom looks like.
And by the
in
way,
America.
I believe in being cautious. Like, I fucking texted him today when I didn't feel good. And, like, Royce, to his credit, was like, I don't give a shit. What do I care? And I was like, but it's a courtesy to tell somebody in the age of COVID, hey, just a heads up, I do have the sniffles and a slight fever, so I don't want to be the guy that lies, comes in, gets somebody sick, and then, like, I was like, oh, I didn't say anything. So, like, but I still, as a courtesy, I texted Royce. I'm like, should I come in and do the show in person,
You should
or
do
should
that
I do
without
a remote?
COVID too. If you have a flu or anything.
Yeah,
it's a
like I'm just
normal
giving
thing.
you a heads up. Royce is like, I don't give a shit. What do you want to do? And I was like, all right, I'll see you now. I'm on my way. Just want to make sure.
But today, it's always been complicated. But political leaders should remember that this country was also founded on the idea that government should protect us.
Okay, but you know,
Government should protect our freedoms.
Yeah,
not
our
us.
freedoms, not us.
The government is supposed to protect our freedoms.
our government was
not
set up.
individually protect us as people.
Yeah, our government was set up in stark contrast to the idea that the government needs to protect you. Our government was set up with a huge disclaimer saying that we need to forever protect ourselves against the government.
After all, in a pandemic, one person's freedom can be another person's death.
Nobody is stopping you from getting vaccinated. Again, their message is so fucked up that unless you're literally retarded, like Biden, for example, unless you're a fucking retard, nobody is stopping you from getting vaccinated. Nobody is stopping you from wearing a mask. Nobody is stopping you from going to Disney World with your kids and not wearing a mask and then blaming it on the school system for not vaccinating them, Melissa Joan Hart. Nobody's doing that.
Probably should have had a little healthier fear that we need to be taken more seriously. I mean, I don't know how close I am to being a lot worse. I really don't know.
You're probably at the worst right there.
It's probably about as bad as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Christopher Green died 9 days after this interview.
Okay, well, it looks like it got worse.
So it got worse. Turns out it got worse.
Clearly got a little bit worse.
It got worse. And you know what? American hero. Right here. He died believing what he believed. And even trying to fucking make him fear it, he says you shouldn't have to be forced to do something you don't want.
He was 53 years old.
And had diabetes and a heart problem.
Probably. Ryan Kinga says from gunshot wounds. No, I don't think that's...
They just made a video of a dead guy as propaganda on the news.
But remember, these
good
are
for him.
They're the good guys.
Good for him.
Remember that they're the good guys.
But you know what? Good for him. You saw him say, I still don't think you should tell people what to do. He died with his morals more than you could say about a lot of other people.
Lucas R. says, I'm sure his doctor didn't kill him like they've proven in VA hospitals.
They have actually proven that.
Jesus Christ, Lucas. Somebody said he smoked 5 packs a day. That's not true. If he smoked 5 packs a day, he would have never caught COVID.
It's true. It makes you healthier, actually. I read that.
Well, remember this. They've been saying from day one smokers don't get COVID as much. And now they're saying that there's a link between nicotine and not getting COVID, which is the funniest thing in the world. I need that. I don't know if that's true. It's probably not. But I need it to be true more than anything. Just the realization that liquor and nicotine is what's keeping people from getting COVID. And that's why all this white trash is surviving.
Oh, look at the Rolling Stones. Hobo chili, not their drummer, he just died. Hobo chili recipe. I know we like to joke, but this is just a precursor to things that come on our soil. My advice is to try to stay away from large gatherings and always have a line of sight. Sorry for being a fucking buzzkill, but this shit scares me. True Wolf 9, you missed in the morning, Mersh. While exploring the Amazon River of YouTube, we found a very special river offshoot where we found a retard school of piranha, and they were eating black piranha because the black piranha wanted to fuck his cousins. Oh, I'll show you that someday, Mike. We're still putting it together, but I promise you we'll bring it up to the main show.
October 12th, 2020, nicotine may inhibit the penetration and spread of the virus and have a prophylactic effect on COVID-19. I swear to God. I swear to God. And that's from clinicaltrials.gov.
Tom Morello's Mercedes, and now this article featuring Ducey. The comments are all saying how Firecrotch owns more on faux news. Ducey, they're copying with these people. They're coping with these people. They're fucking lying. Kamala Harris's beef curtains, watching all these people who say unvaxxed people should be denied medical care, rationalizing why drunk fatzos and smokers should get medical care as Olympic levels of mental gymnastics. Gorillasaurus. Not only are these kids getting robbed of their childhoods, but it's not even for good reasons. It's not like there is a world war going on. There's simply the government fucking them over. Stefan Molyneux, based or cringe?
Why does everybody keep asking us these questions, these internet relic people?
He's all right. I mean, he could be cringy sometimes. He gets too obsessed with women's eggs, I think. Ryan Harkness.
I mean, it is like the problem is he gets like spurgy about their eggs, whereas it is funny to make fun of women for having.
But he
dead
becomes
eggs.
obsessed.
Yeah, he becomes obsessed.
Ryan Harkness. I'm thinking of an anti-Semitic insult. I guess that's just the Jew diss in my mind. Well, Mersh, we do have a live read we have to do. You want me to do it since you're sick? I could do it if you want.
Yeah, you want to do it? That'd be cool.
Yeah, hey guys, look, check it out. All right, check it out. If you want to bet on whether the New York Times is going to make another story about people dying from COVID,
I'm betting yes.
I'm betting yes. But you can't do this on mybookie.ag. But you can bet on. I'll tell you what you can bet on. You can bet on the football season. For example, the Saints had their first game in their stadium where everybody had to be vaccinated. Currently, right now, on third-party ticket resellers, they're selling tickets for $1 because a lot of people still don't want to get vaccinated, so they'd rather not go to the football game.
That's funny.
Yeah,
a Saints game because
Yeah.
that's a team people want to go see.
And now you're getting towards the part of the exhibition system where you actually have, at least the first quarter, you're going to have the star players playing. But anyway, go to mybookie.ag right now. If you sign up with ROTC,
Can we get some fake COVID cards? Maybe if we go to if we go to Vegas, we could go see a
Raiders game?
a Raiders game, and just be like, yeah, man, I'm good to go.
So sign up. Go to
$1.
Go to mybookie.ag. Use ROTC, and right now, if you sign up, they'll match your bet. They will match the amount you put in at the beginning. They'll match it with using promo code ROTC. And by the way, you know what you also get? $10 in casino credits if you want to play the slots.
Holy shit!
Yes, mybookie.ag.
Mybookie.ag is where it's at if you use promo code ROTC, damn it.
Promo code ROTC. Bet and win. And also, guys, we have almost fucking 19 patron shows right now for you. Patron
By
only.
the way, you know our ad guy, he texted me yesterday right when I was driving to the gym, and he was literally like, what's up, Mersh? And I texted back, not much. About to go into the gym. What's up with you? And I never heard I thought you'd enjoy that. I was like, okay, I mean, I what's up, homie?
Patreon.com/we're not sorry. tinyurl.com/ROTC Patreon. $5 is all you need to get our Wednesday shows just for you. We have all of them up there that you may have missed. They're up there now along with our movie riffs, along with other stuff that they actually kicked off of YouTube that I've been putting up on Odyssey. You can find that stuff there. Patreon.com/we're not sorry. We'll be right back. Mersh has to go protect himself from COVID.
And he's got to make room for the 86 models that are arriving sooner than expected. So right now you can get the deal of the year, or maybe any other year, on sporty Cordia hatchbacks, roomy Tradia sedans, hot Starion turbo sports cars, and tough Mighty Max trucks.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second to last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can, but we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com. Gunsfortards.com. Extra rounds for folks with downs, helping to protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
Lucky announces longer store hours. They're getting up earlier and staying up later.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup. Halt nightclub. Shots fired. Shots fired.
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, Two detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey, Lopez. Look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersh and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. It's pretty gross.
These two no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass.
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here.
As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersh and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
of justice, of justice. Yeah, I know. You say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersh and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis. Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer. Only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do? Watch TBS?
And now a woman who knows about shaming firsthand, supermodel Gigi Hadid.
All right, everyone enjoying themselves? How's that filet mignon?
Go ahead.
You know, we're all here for a really important reason. Because everyone
Randy,
should have
Randy,
a safe
we've got a
space
problem.
wherever
What?
they go.
Reality's here.
But of course,
He's trying to
that
crash the
takes a lot
party.
of effort,
Reality?
a lot of resources.
Who let him in? Shit!
With your donations, we have
Nice wine, huh? What do you think of that? You know what I think of your pretty flowers? There you go. How do you like that?
All right, buddy, let's go.
I shit on all of you.
Seagal?
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you! Give me that, you stupid bitch. What a lovely charity event. I suppose you're all feeling pretty good about yourselves, hmm? What have you done? You've raised $300 by spending $500,000 on filet mignon and crystal glasses. Look at you, Vin dipshit. You say fat shaming is wrong, so in response you show off your abs. You're the one fat shaming, idiot! What's the matter with you people? You're sad that people are mean? Well, I'm sorry. The world isn't one big liberal arts college campus. We eat too much. We take our spoiled life for granted. Feel a little bad about it sometimes. No. You want to put all your shit up on the internet and have every single person say, hooray for you. Fuck you. You're all pricks.
Last 30 minutes of the show. Thank you for staying with us. Thursday edition of ROTC. Yesterday's show, if you want to hear it, there's a little secret site called patreon.com/we're not sorry. $5 is all you need to get the show and hang out with all the non-pores. That's where it's at. Thank you for all our patrons, by the way. We do appreciate you guys. We're back.
I think my producer's going to get in a little trouble on Twitter.
What did you do? What did your producer do?
All right, so somebody tweeted out, now 13 American soldiers dead, 10 in critical condition. Somebody replied with, White House is now saying these soldiers were unvaxxed. We're not social distancing at the airport.
That's hilarious.
So then somebody replied with, as a Marine who served in Afghanistan, I say fuck your joke about this. So my producer may have just quote tweeted him and said, this guy has one confirmed kill, and it was probably Pat Tillman. Come on, man. See? You thought his joke was bad. And then I come in with the fucking swoop, swish. See, really, what you should have said was just nothing, and you wouldn't have drawn attention to how sensitive you are.
I want to remind everybody that right now, if you're in California, you're getting your recall election and ballots, and make sure you vote yes, and then vote for Larry Elder. However, remember when we played the video from a couple weeks ago? We played it yesterday, I believe, on the Patreon show. Newsom was talking about, the media's not helping him. Well, it looks like the very, very right-wing ABC News did this.
Clearly very conservative-leaning ABC News.
Called The French Laundry Connection.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a good title. That's a good
French
title.
Laundry Connection. Can I say something? You media hacks have been really garbage lately.
But that's a good one.
Whoever did that deserves a raise.
That's a good one. That's actually really good.
I think corruption runs deep in the soul of mankind.
Well, he's also known as Cactus Jack.
And it sure smells and walks like a duck.
Well, it doesn't seem wrong. It is wrong. It shouldn't be up to the victims of PG&E to make sure PG&E is healthy.
Where do we get the money in order to pay you? It's important for you to want PG&E to do well.
We wanted to be disengaged as quickly as possible from contact.
Where are they
with
finding
them.
these people?
And here we are.
This bankruptcy tethers the victims' financial futures to the performance of the company. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes. We can't stop all fires, but we can stop these. To solve the crisis, we have to master its 3 core elements: fire, power, money.
How Governor Newsom protected PG&E. Check this out.
A plate of dinner at this award-winning restaurant in Napa County starts at $350. But dining here...
That's without wine.
That's insane.
That's without wine.
During the pandemic cost Governor Gavin Newsom quite a bit more than that.
Governor Gavin Newsom is apologizing for not following his own protocols tonight. The French Laundry restaurant.
French Laundry.
French Laundry restaurant.
So I want to apologize to you because I need to preach and practice, not just preach.
You know the French Laundry because it's where...
I kind of want to go there.
The governor had dinner in a small gathering at a time when he was telling California...
I want to go there and ask for chicken fingers.
That would be funny.
And getting Critch really mad.
You guys have hot dogs?
Not to do that because of COVID, but...
They only have those when Obama shows up.
We're more interested in it because of who he was having dinner with.
It was a birthday dinner party for Newsom's close friend, Jason Kinney, a well-known lobbyist.
Friend that I've known for almost 20 years.
The two men shared more than a friendship. They shared an interest in PG&E. In the months before the dinner party, bankruptcy court documents show hundreds of thousands of dollars flowing from PG&E's checkbook to Axiom Advisors, the lobbying firm owned by Jason Kinney.
Oh, okay,
Kinney's name shows up on the firm's billable hours, working for some of PG&E's biggest unsecured creditors. Under services rendered on the bill, the first things you see are the passage of AB 1054, the law that created a state safety certificate for PG&E, and the approval by Governor Newsom of PG&E's bankruptcy plan.
Instead of having a $21 billion wildfire slush fund, what if you spent, 10% of that and just managed your forests better?
Axiom reported working with the governor's office to see all of it through. PG&E's bankruptcy delivered for Kinney's clients. The plan paid them cash in full, plus interest. But
cash?
Yeah, dude.
But not everyone PG&E owed money to had a seat at this table.
Well, this is my living room and my TV, and this is where I prepare my food.
Does this guy look like somebody that could go to the French Laundry?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you think? This guy looks like he goes to a laundromat.
This guy couldn't get a job as a busboy at the French Laundry.
In the town of Paradise, Lawrence Graham lives in a trailer
Is
now.
that an ironic name? The town of Paradise?
Also,
Because
props to this guy
PG&E
because he had Nesquik powder in his kitchen. So
good for him.
He's a man of taste and class.
He burned his house down.
They're helping each other get ahead and stepping on us to get there.
The campfire was a crime with tens of thousands of victims. PG&E owes them restitution.
All they care about is their bottom line. I mean, I understand business is business, but this is our lives they're messing with.
But almost 3 years after the fire, Lawrence doesn't have his restitution from PG&E, and he needs that money.
Over the victims. Because that's
18 written questions to the governor. Newsom's office did not directly answer any.
So what was happening was that person that was eating dinner. Let me break it down. It's really long. The person that was eating dinner with him was one of the people, the lobbyists for PG&E. Newsom bailed out his friend, that dude that was eating with him at the French Laundry, bailed out the company from bankruptcy before helping the victims of the fire.
Of course. Well, you got to help the job creators, Royce. Trickle down.
Man, I know you're being sarcastic.
Then
but
it trickles
I
down.
I don't even like that you're being sarcastic.
It trickles down to the plebeians.
So he's doing trickle-down economics?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
has
those
always
questions.
worked.
And has declined every interview request we've sent for nearly 3 years.
Well,
In a
maybe
written
that's
statement,
because
though, the
you're
governor's
not playing on the right team.
Come on,
He
guys.
specifically asked you to act as his campaign re-election staff.
God, I really hope this fucker gets recalled.
office took credit for ensuring PG&E emerged from bankruptcy in a position to swiftly compensate victims. All the victims we met disagree. They're still waiting to be paid, even though PG&E has been out of bankruptcy for more than a year.
Yeah, but
They know they shortchanged us. It's all about
But yeah,
money.
you idiots, because if they're going to pay these assholes, then they're going to go right back into bankruptcy. Duh.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
And the people that are higher up, buying their way out of trouble.
And it sure smells and walks like a duck. A further testament to corporations having power over people.
PG&E's fire victims did get to vote, but they weren't given any alternatives. The only
they had to
option
provide
on
ID.
the ballot was to vote yes or no on PG&E's bankruptcy plan.
It was sort of deal or no deal.
Yes, exactly. Because they would have to start all the way back over again if you said no.
Fire victims like Mariel didn't want to start negotiations all over again. They wanted to be done dealing with PG&E. That's what they were told a yes vote would do for them in the official voting materials approved by the bankruptcy court. The court told victims a yes vote would pay them more quickly. The safety certificate law passed by the legislature had a deadline for PG&E to get out of bankruptcy, and without this plan, if they voted no, payments would be delayed and could be reduced.
Hold on. He's helping. I'm sorry. These victims of the fire, do they not understand that California has the most hedge fund managers out of any state? Does he not know that? Is he not aware that that right now Silicon Valley has the biggest profits of anything you could find?
Yeah, but they need that money, Royce, to run the propaganda machine.
Oh, I see. I have a feeling that because of this stuff and when his own media is turning against him, Gavin Newsom may be fucked.
I don't. I need to know whether or not I actually care about these victims or not. Do we have any word on their vaccination status?
I do not know if they're vaccinated.
Because
I'm
if they're
really sorry.
vaccinated, then this is terrible.
I'm really sorry. I don't know if they're vaccinated.
But if they're not if they're unvaccinated, then who cares, right? Let
Right,
PG&E
that's a
keep
good
the
point.
money.
That's a good point. Yeah. I didn't think about that. But Mike, I do have something for you here. So,
Is it drugs?
Kind of. So
cool if it was
remember,
drugs.
people were a little upset that we were picking on we've been picking on the differently abled. Okay. By upset, I mean
What's
they've been
differently able, like retards? or-
also
Cripples?
cripples.
Okay.
Cripples.
I thought they were laughing.
They were laughing, yes, through the tears.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that I would do this to give us a chance to make up for it. Okay. We're gonna do a game, and this is gonna be all the kids are doing this game. It's gonna be the Try Not to Laugh challenge. Okay. The title of this video is "My Bones of Glass Won't Stop Me from Modeling." Frozen, you're already lost. Come on.
That's not real.
Sorry.
That's not real.
Yes, it's called My Bones of Glass Will Not Stop Me from Modeling.
First of all,
Yeah.
that's your problem right there. Why did you have bones made of glass?
I think they're not really made of glass. I think it's like unbreakable.
Like the movie?
Frozen already lost. But
That doesn't look like Bruce Willis or Samuel L. Jackson. What's with those long fingers?
Really? That's your issue?
But I mean, because the rest of her is so tiny, but then she's got these big, long hands.
I like that that's your issue with it.
Of course, it was difficult. You didn't look like the others. I felt very isolated with my disability. There was someone told me that it was a pity I was disabled.
So Willow is
if I
trans
wanted,
now.
I could be a model.
Are you
It
sure
kinda
that's Willow?
provoked
Not
me.
Willow? Are you 100% positive that's not
I
Warwick
may
I'm going to
Davis?
say what you said yesterday. 75%.
Sure that that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
Warwick
yeah, yeah.
Davis. Okay.
Bones disease, but I'm still allowed to feel like a confident, sexy woman.
I'm doing good. I haven't laughed.
So this is like we're just doing. We all we've done is tweak the freak show, right?
Correct.
It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm. She's from Denmark.
There you go.
I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, type 3, also known as brittle bones disease.
It's bird bone disease, I believe was what the...
Bird bone.
It's bird bones. Just bird bones.
Over the years, I have fractured approximately 150 bones, maybe 200. I stopped counting.
She laughs and immediately fractures her rib.
Her orbital bone breaks.
My relationship with my appearance has evolved pretty fast this year and last year.
Maybe you shouldn't be drinking so much coffee, though. That's probably bad for your brittle bones.
That's a classic look. I mean, that coat looks too heavy for your bird bones, but...
It's a classic look.
I think I have been modeling for 2 to 3 years now.
Modeling what?
Modeling is important to me because Denmark.
Huh? Huh? Get a load of those feet, huh?
That's all I can look at.
Get a load of those feet, huh?
Pretty sure someone out there has a potato fetish.
Still has this old-fashioned ways of perspective of modeling. We need to refine beauty standards.
Why?
Some people like women to look like Dr. Robotnik. What's the fucking problem?
This is the typical leftist, modern, like postmodern thing. I'm ugly, so we need to redefine the definition of what attractive is. We need to change the definitions of things so that I'm included in it. You know what? You're right, ma'am. I would like them to change the definition of what a bodybuilder is. I want them to change the definition of what a huge-dicked millionaire is so that I can finally be included in that list.
You know, it's funny you said that, and we're going to continue this, but this is an article we'll read another day. But Frozen, can you just read the title of the bodybuilding? It's funny you said the bodybuilding thing. Frozen, can you read the title of that article? Of the dysmorphia one?
Okay, I gotta go find it.
Yeah, when you grab it, just let me know.
I have
Alright.
talked.
What's the
I got
title?
it, I
What's the
got it, I
title
got
of the
it.
article?
Eating disorders are stereotyped as only impacting women and girls, but young men are also obsessing about diet and appearance, leading to muscle dysmorphia.
Dudes that want to get ripped and in shape now, it's a disorder. It's a disorder.
I mean, it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are people out there that are severely, like, obsessed with it to the point where it's unhealthy, but we're just defining... So everyone that's unpleased with their body that wants to just go do some work...
It's the disease.
Okay.
With a photographer, Stine. Today we are taking some photos for my modeling portfolio.
Mm.
Just a portfolio.
It's kind of exciting. My last shoot was before Corona. My style.
I
is
don't
very-
understand it. Your torso is like just a barrel, right? You have a torso that's shaped like a rain collecting barrel. How is that sexy?
They should be aging whiskey in her.
How do you even find clothes for that?
Well, you're about to see.
Before Corona, my style is.
She
very-
orders stuff from Amazon and she just wears the bag. She throws the clothes out. She just needs the bag.
Oh, fuck.
Important to me, and finding clothes that fits me and still makes me feel sexy. It can be quite tricky when you're using children-sized clothes.
Yeah, it could be quite tricky to buy clothes when you're not even a humanoid shape. You're right. It must be weird.
I bought something for the shoot today. I'm kind of excited to see if the items actually fits me. I'm not sure if I actually can fit this one. Yeah, it's too narrow. I can probably fit the children's size. I actually think I can wear this.
Hot stuff coming through.
I love the music
I
they
know.
pipe into, like we're at a glamour shoot.
How difficult was it to have this disability when you were growing up?
Well, getting older.
Yeah, not growing as much as aging.
Aging.
Of course, it was difficult.
It's Killdozer.
That looks like the car they built in Top Gear, Jeff. She's riding around in Jeff. Oh, fuck.
You didn't look like the others.
That's cute.
And I
It's a big Jason Mraz fan.
I just need to know where she found the fedora that size.
started to be frustrated about my deformities, my crooked back, that I couldn't fit the clothes my friends could. My confidence as a teenager was very shaky. I really needed
Why?
some idols to mirror myself in. Someone like me, someone that looked like me and felt like me.
Huh?
I was actually a very pretty child, very photogenic. There was someone told me that it was a pity I was disabled, because
If not, you would have been a stone cold fox.
Yeah, you would have been foxy.
if I won't, I could be a model. I don't think a disability should prevent a modeling career.
So I found her Instagram.
No.
No.
Sure?
Just
Just
fine.
no.
God damn it.
Instagram.com/wheelchick.
What's her name?
A wheel chick.
Where's
She's
the
shaped
link?
like a
Give me the
wheel.
link.
Oh, you're not gonna like this, Royce. Especially if you scroll down. It's in show links now.
I see it.
Eh? Okay. Why is she cosplaying as Amy Poehler there at the top? What is that about? What? Is that an is it an Amy Poehler cosplay?
Yeah, she's in handicap parking and Rex.
Oh fuck.
That's a sexy one.
That's sexy. Look at that. That's fucking hilarious.
That's hot.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's hot.
What are we doing?
Little bikini shoot?
Oh god. Oh god.
You know when you put too much stuff in a grocery bag?
You're just hoping you make it up the stairs
And
with
it's
it.
gonna break. It's gonna break.
Shit.
Nice.
She has a stomach like Big Lenny from the Delray Misfits.
Excuse me, but she has a squad.
She literally has roid belly, like she's like one of the Road Warriors.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be Joe Rogan's stomach in a few years.
Joe Rogan tummy.
Yeah.
You know, she's about the same height.
That's right.
Huh? Look at that. Top hat and cape, ready for a night on the town.
Look at the striations on her belly.
Those aren't striations, those are stress fractures.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Hey, smoking's not good for your health.
Yeah, seriously. Why are you smoking? Now I don't feel bad for you.
Wow. Is she vaccinated?
A little bit of wine, a little bit of sunset. A little brunch day.
I think a disability should prevent a modeling career. It kind of provoked me. I'm starting to see the whole person and not
But
only
this is
my
what I don't
disease.
understand. This is like
Took me
this whole concept. If we're gonna redefine everything, right? Like, and it's like I don't think that being a deformed freak should prevent me from being a model. Okay, fair enough. I don't think that being bad at football should prevent me from playing in the NFL.
Well, you can play for the Jets.
So it's about time.
I mean, hasn't stopped them. They're still a team.
Oh, fuck.
So I will be needing some new photos for my modeling portfolio. When I was a teenager.
Yo, dog, I heard you like walking around without your feet breaking all the time. So we put a wheelchair in your ride.
So she is actually spoken for. Do you want to see what her man looks like?
I'm already calling it. I'm already calling it. He looks normal, doesn't he?
Let me see her man.
Sure, normal is great.
Let's see her man. I want to see her. Hey, you remember Amish Roadkill?
Of course I do.
Yeah, hold on, I got the here. You remember Amish Roadkill?
You know I worked with him, right?
Yeah, I know. Is
Oh
that
yeah.
him?
Oh my God. Does kind of look like Roadkill. But normal, I mean, still, I was right. He's a super fat guy, but he's normal.
Mm-hmm.
But she has brittle bone disease.
I didn't have this idol to mirror myself in. So I want to
It's the sexy faces.
That's the best part.
it's the self-assuredness that kills me.
be that kind of inspiration for other people. I love being part of
They try
show.
to they try to recreate the Marilyn Monroe on the steam grate photo shoot, but the steam grate just blows her away.
Okay, Comega's being mean.
Hey, Comega, this is not a place for us. We're not going to be mean around here. We're trying to encourage and.
Sir Vexalot says, "How do they?"
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
I don't know. Probably a day at a time.
that's mean. That's not that's not them together. That's not them. That's not them. That's wrong.
That's really funny though.
You guys are jerks.
She does look like the little eyeball from Monsters Inc.
Billy Crystal voices her.
She looks like one of those. What the fuck were they called back in the day?
Monsters.
No, they had the ball. Remember the ball with the monster faces on?
Oh, and you would squeeze that? Yeah. Fuck. What were they called?
Somebody will remember what that was.
Showing new beauty standards for other people. I feel the photo shoot today has been really, really great. I'm so excited to see the result. I really missed it, and it's so good to be back on track. I'm hoping in my future that I will get in a state of mind where I will be fully confident.
You're not now?
You're already insanely overconfident.
Yeah.
I may have brittle bones.
Mad balls. They were called mad balls.
Mad balls.
See,
She looks like a mad
fill
ball.
it out to feel like a confident and a sexy woman.
Huh?
I found the mad balls.
Shake my beauty? What? I think you've been shaken enough, lady.
Mm-hmm. Maybe too much.
Yeah. If I had to guess, your mother, when she was pregnant, stuck her belly in one of those paint can shakers. Fuck. Yeah, you'd squeeze them and they'd be like, bleh. Yeah. She looks like a mad ball. I used to torture my nephew with those things.
What, really?
Yeah, when he was a baby, he hated those things. Because they're like creepy looking. Like babies hated those things. So you'd squeeze it in his face and he'd cry. It's pretty funny.
All right, let's read some of these. Shit, there's a few. Let's see here. Kylos Rex bought 3 beers. Brother's buddy is a Marine. They're in Kabul now. Got lucky. Typically guards that gate. Wasn't there today. He already told our group of friends. He knows he's going to die there. And there's so many people trying to get into the airport. People back home don't have any clue what's really happening. That line that they're showing close up of the tarmac goes on for miles. We are basically sitting ducks, standing out in the open. If something broke out here, we just are surrounded by tens and thousands of civilians whose true intentions are unknown to us.
Jesus Christ. What are we doing, man?
JPC ROTC says the new season of Ozarks looks pretty bland. Epfu says, found out that cripple that you guys made fun of a few days ago has her own clothing line. It's pretty nice. She has Wrestling Buddy as a size option for her clothes. For other gremlins like her, maybe I'll try to find out Wrestling Buddy and buy him some outfits. Pifu says, hey, perfect. This new, even uglier gremlin potato retard can model those Wrestling Buddy outfits. Lord Pepsi, fuck Nestle quick. It's all about Pancho Pantera Coco. Okay. Arbud Wire's Manila Envelope says, normally I find you guys funny, but the way you've been making fun of handicapped people lately is just tasteless. It's not this generic disaster's fault. She looks like a bloated, salacious crumb doll. I think you're the mean one. Eric Fitzpatrick, how has nobody accidentally stepped on toadstool she lives on the toadstool she lives under? I want to shoot her with a Nerf gun to see if she's lying about her bird bones. Okay, that's really mean, man. That's really mean. And you know what? This is really tasteless stuff, and I don't agree with it. If anything, you could blame Frozen. He's been the one giving me all this.
Wait, what?
So, yeah, Truly. Who introduced me to Truly?
Okay, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. So if you want to blame somebody, you fucking blame Frozen, okay?
I blame Frozen anyway.
Yeah, all right?
Pretty much for all my life's problems.
She actually lives in a Polly Pocket. No Nightwave, right? You're sick?
We'll see. I'm gonna go home and take a nice nap, and then I'll decide.
What you should do? Take a 20-minute ice bath.
That sounds like the worst idea.
That sounds great. They made Joe Rogan the man he is today.
Have you tried an ice bath? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea when you're having adverse vaccine reactions.
That'll help, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. There should be a Nightwave tonight, but let me go take a nap and figure it out. I feel like shit.
I'm not stopping you.
I put something in the show links earlier to make you guys feel better.
Oh, I did see the palate cleansers. I did see the palate cleansers today, so I want to thank him for that.
What are we getting?
Look at those legs. Yeah. That's what
that is one hot Jew.
And who's this? Is this Canseco's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, homie. She's fucking... She has, like, probably some of the most perfect proportions ever.
What a beautiful woman.
God bless America.
What a beautiful, beautiful woman. Lovely. Guys, thank you so much.
She does have that... She has that Canseco crazy in her, though, man. You got to be careful. I bet she'll kill you.
Never date a Cuban woman.
Well, forget just a Cuban. A Canseco.
Which makes it worse.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Nightwave maybe tonight. We'll see. It's up to Mersh. And tomorrow, Daywave in the morning. Go check it out, youtube.com/Daywave Radio. Thank you guys so much. Hey, why don't you hit the like button on the way out? Huh? It's not a lot of work. It takes a second. Bye, guys.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Happy Friday. We've learned a lot in the past 5 days. Maybe the most important thing we've learned is that Joe Biden is not capable of running the country. Joe Biden is senile. Saying that out loud is not an attack on Biden. Any decent person feels sorry for him. You watch him gaze vacantly into the middle distance or stumble like a drunk man trying to cross an icy street as he careens through his prepared remarks. There's no joy in watching any of that. It could be any of us someday and probably will be. It's not Joe Biden's fault he can't think clearly. It's an indictment of the people around him. In the months before last November's election, Joe Biden's own family knew perfectly well that he was in profound cognitive decline. They were worried about it. They told other people they were worried about it, which is how we know. But they did nothing to stop Biden from running for president. Neither did Ron Klain, who's now the White House chief of staff. Klain is highly familiar with Joe Biden's senility. He works there every day. So does Mike Donilon and Gene Sperling and Susan Rice and the rest of the people making decisions in this country, very much including Barack Obama. They all know. These are hard and cynical and clear-eyed people. They have worked with Joe Biden for many years. Not one of them has any doubt that Biden is failing. And now that's obvious to the rest of the country. Anyone who's been paying attention already caught on to this, of course. But until recently, it didn't seem to matter a whole lot. You saw Biden on television grinning and mumbling. He was up there reminding you to put on your little mask or wear your seatbelt or go easy on the sodium. None of it seemed especially threatening. These are the things that elderly men talk about in real life. Be safe out there, kids. But in the last week, we've been reminded how tiny our domestic concerns actually are. They're neuroses born of narcissism. A Chinese flu virus? Please. That's hardly the scariest thing going on in the world right now. It's not even close. The entire U.S. military has just been humiliated by illiterate peasants in turbans. And if that's not insulting enough, many of them were carrying our rifles as they did it. It makes you wonder about the future of the West and who's going to replace us when we're gone. Someone in authority probably ought to be thinking about that and about a lot of other things, too. What are we going to do when the Chinese finally move against Taiwan? How are we going to respond when there's a credible challenge to the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? There are issues out there, a lot of them, in other words, that matter slightly more than whether you keep your mask over your nose on that Southwest flight to Tucson. It is shameful. It's embarrassing when you think of how totally frivolous and up our own butts we've been for the last couple of years. All we can say for certain at this point is that Joe Biden will not be making any of the big decisions going forward. He's not capable of being the president in crisis. So who will be? We can't say. But it's clear if you watch closely that things are changing very fast in Washington. The people around Biden are moving away from him in ways that are not at all subtle. Why is this happening now? Was it always the plan? Did the party that hates white guys finally realize it was being led by one? Again, we don't know the answer. But the signs of it are everywhere, and they are strikingly obvious. Some of Biden's most senior appointees are contradicting him in public. If you cover politics, it is shocking to see that. It's a violation of the first and most ruthlessly enforced rule in any White House, which is don't diminish the boss. But suddenly they're doing just that, and they're doing it openly. Just hours after Biden assured the country that things were fine in Afghanistan, Lloyd Austin, as defense secretary, described the situation in Afghanistan as a disaster, and then Austin repeated this for emphasis. Others are doing the same thing. Here's Biden this afternoon telling us that American citizens are having no trouble whatsoever getting to the airport in Kabul.
We have no indication that they haven't been able to get in Kabul through the airport. We've made an agreement with the Taliban thus far. They've allowed them to go through. It's in their interest for them to go through.
So there was the President of the United States going on television today to assure us that things are fine for Americans in Kabul. But just an hour later, here's the Pentagon spokesman telling you that actually that's not true. Americans are being beaten in Kabul. Watch.
Defense Secretary Austin just now in a briefing call with House lawmakers said the reports Americans have been beaten by the Taliban in Kabul. Is the U.S. military under orders to stay at the airport and not go protect them?
I think we've been talking about this throughout the entire briefing. We're certainly mindful of these reports, and they're deeply troubling. And we have communicated to the Taliban that that's absolutely unacceptable, that we want free passage through their checkpoints for documented Americans. And by and large, that's happening.
So the president tells us that we have an ironclad deal with the Taliban and everything's cool. An hour later, John Kirby tells us we're deeply concerned about what the Taliban is doing. So in a normal administration with the president who planned on serving out his full 4-year term, what you just saw would qualify as a kind of scandal. The Pentagon spokesman would be in serious trouble. He just contradicted his boss, the man who's supposed to be in control of the entire executive branch of government. But as we noted, things are changing very fast. Watch it happen again. Here's Biden from today telling us that al-Qaeda has been driven from Afghanistan.
What interest do we have in Afghanistan at this point with al-Qaeda gone? We went to Afghanistan for the express purpose of getting rid of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, as well as getting Osama bin Laden. And we did.
Once again, just an hour after he said that, the President of the United States is contradicted in public by his own employee. Again, here's the Pentagon spokesman.
We know that al-Qaeda is a presence, as well as ISIS, in Afghanistan, and we've talked about that for quite some time.
But the president just said that there is no al-Qaeda presence in Afghanistan, and that does not seem to be correct.
What we don't think is that what we believe is that there isn't a presence that is significant enough to merit a threat to our homeland as there was back on 9/11 20 years ago.
So that's the opposite of what Biden just said. So here you have the top spokesman for the most powerful agency in the entire government informing us that the President of the United States has no idea what he's talking about. You don't see that every day. In fact, you never see it. But it's not just Biden's employees who appear to be turning on him in public. So are some of his key political allies, the neocons, liberals who used the Republican Party for their own purposes for decades before abandoning it when Trump arrived, are now attacking Joe Biden openly and very aggressively. That didn't take long. But most telling of all is this. It's from CNN. Watch.
It is just an absolute mess. And we heard President Biden say yesterday in his comments to ABC News that this is not a failure. And I think a lot of people outside that airport, particularly those taking the kinds of extreme actions we're just talking about, would like to know, if this isn't failure, what does failure look like exactly?
So Joe Biden failed, and he's lying about it. That's what CNN just told us. It is hard to overstate the significance of the clip you just saw. CNN is not a news network. CNN is a political organization. Its anchors and reporters don't decide for themselves what to say on camera. They are told what to say. They're told in highly specific terms every weekday morning on a call with their commander, Jeff Zucker. There's no intellectual freelancing at CNN. Here's what I think. No. It's a united front, a single hymnal for the entire congregation. When CNN takes a position or changes its position on something, it changes as one. Everybody, from the chirpy morning dingbats to Don Lemon on the night shift, they all say precisely what they are told to say. Ever watch the channel? And now they're saying something very, very different. Consider this person. This is a former member of the morning zoo crew on a contemporary hit station in Yakima, Washington. On a good day, she's probably operating with a functional IQ of about 85. So it's fair to say she is not coming up with her own material. And yet here she is, visibly outraged on the air, telling you what an incompetent, bad person Joe Biden is.
The rapid fall of Afghanistan stunning the Biden administration and this nation, quite frankly. And many of the promises, predictions, and the words of the president and his White House are coming back to haunt them.
What is going on here? These are literally the people who got Joe Biden elected president. He would not be president without these people. And now, just 7 months into his administration, they are telling you that he has failed personally. It does not make sense.
Former Democratic presidential nominee Seth Moulton just took a trip. He was one of those two people unauthorized to go into Afghanistan yesterday with Republican Representative Meyer. Seth Moulton, that high-profile name in Democrats, is saying there's no way we're going to get everybody out. We just simply will leave Americans behind. I mean, there's not just a little bit of headwind against the president of the United States. It's a wall.
Oh, there's a lot. Look, adding to that list, you're right to mention Seth Moulton. Also, Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff's saying that it's unlikely. Adam Smith, also a Democrat, saying it's very, very unlikely. Kevin McCarthy, no possible way. Brad Sherman, a Democrat, saying you're not going to get everybody out. And this is just the handful of people acknowledging reality. Unfortunately, our president will not. It is so shameful that on Friday, he looked into the camera and made this commitment, quote, "We will get you home," to Americans. He went even further and said to our Afghan allies, quote, "We're making the same commitment." That was Friday. Here we are this week, and that commitment has gone by the wayside. There's no transparency here. Meantime, as you watch the Pentagon briefing, they have a detailed percentage list of the members of our military who are vaccinated, point by point, branch by branch, but they still cannot tell us the number of Americans caught in Afghanistan. It is just stunning communications catastrophe all the way across from the Pentagon to the State Department, right on down to the White House.
So, Morgan, I want to drill down on that just a bit, because when people leave the country, they have to flash their passports. Everything's digitalized now. How in the world can we not know which Americans are over there in Afghanistan? I mean, it's not like it's a tourist destination in a pandemic and people trying to sneak to get there.
Yeah, so we've got a couple different issues going on, Harris. Number one, you would think in the months leading up to this withdrawal, since the president announced it in April, that we would have started pulling those lists together and getting that information together. One of the things that the State Department relies on around the world is something called SAFE, this system where people are supposed to register with the U.S. Embassy so that they know they're there, they know they're present. So you've got one problem in that this should have been done ahead of time. And then the next problem, we'll see what Secretary Blinken says in the next hour whenever he's supposed to go to the podium, if they've been able to get that number to us. But an important point, Harris, this is not the first time that we have had to evacuate Americans out of a crisis. Last year, during COVID, when the world shut down and commercial airliners shut down, Mike Pompeo and his State Department, we had to evacuate and repatriate almost 100,000 Americans from around the world.
Yes.
This was a huge logistical feat. So it's important to note that the State Department can do this. There is the capabilities, but they have to have the right political leadership in place. Secretary Pompeo empowered our undersecretary, who's essentially like the COO of the State Department, to get this done. And he put people directly reporting to him who would be accountable for getting 100,000 Americans home. To me, the question is, why has Secretary Blinken still not done that? Where is the point of failure at the State Department? Who's responsible? Is anyone in this entire administration going to be held accountable for this debacle? I don't think they're going to fire anybody. They just hope in the next few weeks we'll quit looking at it.
If Secretary Blinken starts to take questions, that things stay tougher on him than they did in that previous Pentagon briefing that we got out of by like the 6th question on the same thing, and we had been given all of those details. I mean, Jen Griffin was trying for Fox News. Others in the room were trying. But they just simply, their goal today, it seemed, with Kirby and the Major General, just don't make any headlines. just keep this line tight right now. It's a very military thing to do, by the way. Having grown up military, I've seen hold the line. I want to get to this, Ari, before I come to you. We had 2 Republican congressmen on last hour. One was the first Green Beret elected to Congress, Mike Waltz from the state of Florida, and also the chairman, the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs, Mike McCall of Texas. Here they are now.
Now with the president deciding that August 31st is the date where the military is going to be completely out, I always say there's going to be blood on his hands. People are going to die as a result of this decision.
We are on the cusp, Harris, of having the biggest mass hostage situation in American history. It's going to make 1979 in Tehran look like a sleepover, because you're going to have thousands of Americans left behind that the Taliban will then have for leverage when they want international recognition, they want money, they want economic assistance, and they've got a gun to the head of American citizens because Joe Biden left them.
And I just want to say this, Ari, too, about Congressman Walz. He did some time as an elite beret special forces officer in Afghanistan. So he knows the lay of the land. He knows the Taliban. Your reaction to some of what you just heard? All right, we're having some technical issues with Ari Fleischer's microphone. Did I just hear him again?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, go ahead. Ari, I just wanted to get your reaction. I apologize for having to come to you again to get you to repeat yourself, but your words are too important to skip. So we heard from the congressman and your reaction.
What I was saying is, I've heard criticism of presidents often in my life. But what's so different now is when you listen to the tone of their voice, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, but especially a veteran, it is so ardent because they're so scared of things that can go wrong because this is so perilous. And what you're criticizing Joe Biden for is, one, his judgment, and two, the accuracy of his words. And here's Biden's core problem, Harris. Last week, he came before the American people and said that Americans were not having difficulty getting to the airport, when of course they were. He said there's no Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, when of course there is. He said he wasn't being criticized by foreign leaders, when he was. And now this week he says we're on track to get everybody out, after having said that all Americans will be brought out and all the Afghans who want to be brought out too. Can we rely on Joe Biden when he doesn't know what's going on? This is why people have this edge to them. This is why this is so perilous, because it appears that the President of the United States is not in connection with events on the ground and is just speaking and wearing rosy-colored glasses at a time when we need realism. That's why I think you hear this fear, and obviously all you have to do is turn on the TV and you realize how perilous it is for the people trying to get to the airport.
Well, and it is fear, too, because some of what they've told us, Ari, isn't, and this started with the president, then it's spread to, the Pentagon, then Jen Psaki in the White House press briefing room, and it's these words: for every American who wants to come home, we will get you home. If you can't get to that airport, how are you going to read a woman or a man's heart? You don't know what they want. You can't even get them to the airport. I mean, it's so disingenuous. It's like it's talking to us as though we're stupid. And at least we're in a safe space, right? We're in a studio somewhere. They're hearing these same disingenuous words. It must feel like hate to them a world away. Go ahead, Ari.
Well, and we're focused on Kabul, where everything you said is valid. But what about Mazar Sharif? What about Kandahar? What about the other cities where there could be Americans? It's not as if everybody's just in the one place where there happens to be an airport. But that feeds into something else, where Jen Psaki yesterday was bragging that this is going to be the largest evacuation in our history. Well, that's because it's been the largest abandonment of people in our history. The only reason we have to evacuate people is because we abandoned them, and we went down this path that Joe Biden selected to withdraw the military first. The proper way to do it is for people to have caught commercial flights over the last several months and there be nobody left to evacuate. It should be the smallest evacuation in history if it was done well. It's only going to be a significant evacuation because it was done so poorly.
Did you see that video just then, Emily, of the people standing outside the gates in the of the airport? Did you see that? It's so hard to watch. That's pure sewage that people were standing in. It's the shot just before this one. They're standing in sewage. They're doing whatever it takes to get in. And I had a former Army Ranger interpreter on with me just a few minutes before Outnumbered started. He's worried so much about his family. He got out, but he's got to get them out now. Can you imagine standing in that, trying to get out? You're getting sick just trying to save your life, because Lord knows what's in that water.
This is tragedy upon tragedy, Harris. And I think the worst part for me as an ordinary American is the notion that this was in some way preventable. The notion that if there was some modicum of actual leadership from our commander-in-chief, actual transparency, if there was an ability to listen to the multitudes of plans submitted to him all across the government by veterans, by the State Department, by the Department of Defense, and more, that there would be a more seamless transition, a better extraction than the absolute surrender and abandonment we have seen up until now. And I'd like to hear more from Morgan on this, because Morgan, I think you touched on such a valuable point, which is that in the refusal to delegate any type of responsibility or power, that is why everything is sort of bunching at the top. We're hearing from all aspects throughout the government and again with ordinary Americans saying, we have a chartered flight, we have everything available, but we're missing a permit to land, for example. We're hearing from Congressman Gallagher saying, why do we keep surrendering our power to the executive branch? We have more power than standing at a microphone. Let's pass legislation and get these Americans and allies and animals home. So Morgan, what is your insight, if any, into that, what we're seeing, that bunching at the top, resulting in, I think, inevitably loss of life?
Well, just quickly, I think whenever you have a lot of people in charge, you have no one in charge. So one of the things that Congress will need to get to the bottom of is, where is the point of failure at the State Department? Why weren't these civ applications being processed? What happened between April and August? I think that's going to be the crucial question. At the State Department under Mike Pompeo, he made sure that people were appointed to positions and they were in charge and they were held accountable by him if they weren't delivering. Trust me, I've been in the room when he's had to hold people accountable.
Yeah, I just have one question. Is someone lying to us about what's happening on the ground and who's making the decision to do so? Because if the president can honestly say and mean that he doesn't know about the dangers on the ground outside that airport and how deadly it's going to be when our American military pulls out, if they're not telling him, that's one thing. But if they're not telling him so that we aren't told, that's tacitly a lie. And we can't accept that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.
As California goes, that's the focus of tonight's angle. If you want to know where America is headed if we don't turn